Again, hoping we didn't have any Pikmin glitch out of existence. This is a good run. This is under like 12 hours. This ain't bad for me. Again, I'm not a speedrunner by any means, but again, for my standards, this has been a pretty smooth run. Though the timer doesn't count all of the copious resetting we've been doing, so that is also a caveat that needs to be stated. Hi Dewankai, welcome on in. We are just making our way through the Dream Den. Claire said FF14 in particular, yeah. I've heard a lot about like how women are handled in very specific expansions that will not say my name. But yeah, I've heard a lot of complaint about, yeah, very specific female characters just being treated really poorly. This is a weird-ass floor arrangement. Like, in terms of, like, oh no, that's a problem. That's a big problem. This problem is getting worse all the time. Worse by the second. I'm just gonna back off, I think. Well, that sucked. But we lived, so I'll take it, I guess. There's a lot of enemies that could be a problem, so I'm gonna actually do the thing again, where I get the Gatling Groink to cooperate with us. Like with 13, it's like Fang and Lightning are super cool design-wise, but as characters, they're just... no one gets a lot to work with in 13. Like, 13's my first Final Fantasy. I will go to bat for 13 as being overhated. However... I kind of feel like 13 does deserve a lot of the criticism it gets, but not even in the way that it gets criticism. By that I mean, I think it deserves criticism for its character portrayals, and not just hee hallway sim. Like, the hallway complaints about 13 are kind of like overdone, I think, especially given that like Final Fantasy X is also a hallway, to be honest, but that sucks. Well, this really sucks, oh. All my good luck seems to have gone out the window. We'll make it work, hopefully. But yeah, if we don't hurry, the Pikmin will be digested, so we actually might have a problem here. But luckily, the Wally Hop is backing off, so that gives us an opening. Or not. It could just be very persistent. I'm gonna do this again. Partly because we have so many, and partly just so we don't lose a Pikmin. Again, it's a waste for all intents and purposes, but... given, you know, we have so much, we can afford to do that. Yeah, this is the one that actually has the treasure. I have no clue what direction they'll take this treasure in. That's the other thing that's scaring me at the moment. Like, they could just go straight through the most hazardous path they can find. Because that's how Pikmin operates sometimes. Yeah, I think the camera's trying to align with the cursor, like, angle, which is causing it to just rotate at very inopportune times. Which FF setting would be the least chaotic to live in as a regular person? None of them, probably. I mean, it depends, I guess. Like... yeah, no, the camera's driving me bonkers a little bit in this particular cavern. I don't know why it's acting up so much. It's not drift or anything. It's just trying to adjust, and it's doing a bad job of it. Oh, is this the one that's actually sealed up? Because this one can be very annoying if you're actually doing an all-yellow run of this cavern for the final boss. Because then how do you get the Pikmin to the actual exit to break it open? Nope, this one's actually open, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that. That's the Hole of Heroes. Okay, I'm actually genuinely wondering if my controller's drifting. Because here's the thing, this controller is 8 years old. I got this like right after the launch of the console, and I've had it this whole time. So hypothetically speaking, if this was drifting, that's like a good-ass run with the Pro Controller. Because a lot of people go through so many of these, and so like, if that is the case, I mean, I got my money's worth out of this controller. But yeah, it is just like randomly spinning. So yeah, that might actually just straight up be like Pro Controller analog drift. I might have to just emergency swap the Joy-Cons for this playthrough. Or I could try to use the actual original camera system to compensate. You know, like, I've played so much Splatoon on this Pro Controller. I've played so much Mario Kart on this controller. You know... If it's drifting, one, I'll try to clean it out, because Pro Controllers are actually really easy to clean out, unlike the Pro Controller 2, unfortunately. Because they actually made it way harder to get inside, which is infuriating as someone who actually does enjoy being able to take apart the Pro Controller 1 as easily as I do. Oh no, that's a problem too. Because swarming is also right stick. Weird, it's not doing it now. Again, it might just be a weird quirk of this cavern or something. Or like the camera. Like, maybe it isn't a big problem. Either way, that was very disconcerting, and I will do some testing off-screen, or off-stream probably, to figure that out. Oh, this sucks as a level layout, or enemy layout more so. Because the level layout's not bad, it's just your enemy arrangement that's kind of like, this is peculiar. Like having a burrowing enemy right by a poison generator, so it's like, how do I even deal with that? Like, easily, because white Pikmin are not meant for fighting. This one is sealed up, so that can actually be a problem if you're trying to just beeline it to the exit. Like, trying to get to the end. Actually, no, there's a way to do this. It's kind of silly. This will work. And yeah, the captains will often automatically run. So yeah, Olimar can just act as a distraction. That works. I'm also not happy about all the electricity in this floor. Yellow Pikmin. The bread bugs did not get any of the treasures, so I'm just gonna let them be. Just have them do their thing. And Olimar is still spinning in circles. We can now free him from his endless cycle. Okay. Oh, that's awkward. There's a bulb there where we need to actually go. Well, that's a problem for 10 minutes from now, or like a minute from now, me, because I'll get this first. Genuinely trying to figure out why the camera is spinning, because again, I don't think it's actually drift. It doesn't quite feel like drift, if that makes sense. I've had this controller drift once before, but I cleaned it out and it was enough to make it go on, and that was like years ago. So like, this one's been going strong for a very long time. Yeah, how the hell do I deal with the bulb bear without losing Pikmin? Unless I can stun it from down here, and then toss Pikmin up to it. Oh my god, I did it. By accident. Actually... Hell yeah, that works. Problem solved. Nice. We love troubleshooting on the fly. Oh, that takes a lot of Pikmin. And they want to latch on to something different. Cool. Just getting the treasure is gonna be a problem, actually. They are not interested. Right. Might as well break this open at least. And we'll figure out how to get this. Okay, we got it down, and now that we've gotten it down, we'll toss some more Pikmin on it so the bread bug will leave them alone. And now ads are about to start, so we're gonna pause and hopefully finish up the game. Okay, let's jump back in. We should only have a little bit left. This actually that's not even like 30 seconds. Yeah, I do enjoy Sonic Colors quite a bit, but I definitely feel like that's a choice to have the songs be as long as they are in some cases. It's a good soundtrack though. I really do enjoy that music. Boston. Interesting. I'm gonna ditch all the Pikmin. I don't want to maneuver them through all this. Yeah, something's going on, because this is definitely acting up again. We'll get to the bottom of it, like, between streams. I actually have another Pro Controller I can use. It's still boxed. It was on sale at, like, a Best Buy or something years ago. So, because I really love the Switch Pro Controller, I picked up a second one. Never opened it, because my original is still going strong. So, if this one is drifting now, and I can't clean it to the point where it starts working again, I am still set. So yeah. And again, these still work on Switch too. They can't wake up the Switch from sleep mode, which is kind of annoying. Beyond that, they still work totally fine. They also don't have like the back buttons and all the fancy features. See, one thing I'm trying is holding L, which is the swarm button, to see if like I'll start randomly swarming. Because if I'm not just randomly swarming, then it's not the stick. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. The Switch 2 Pro Controller might have better gyro also, but I don't want to spend $80. No, like $90. Also based on teardowns, it actually uses potentiometers that are closer to what Joy-Cons use, so like, slight nervousness around actually having a controller that expensive be that prone to drift. But the other big problem is just not being able to clean it very easily, because you have to like take off the faceplate, which is actually glued in. It's not like clipped on or anything. So it's like you basically have to like destroy the controller to get inside of it, which is like, it's designed to be very airtight, like no screws visible, which is an aesthetic, but it's not a choice I particularly like because it makes serviceability extremely obnoxious. I also just feel like potentiometers nowadays are just made really badly. Like, there's sort of the argument that like no one had this problem on older gen hardware nearly as prevalently. Because like even the DualSense drifts horrifically. You know, Xbox controllers, my Series X controller drifts. Yeah, no, it's drifting. I'm not holding the control stick at all. First experiment I want... Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's not great. First experiment I'm gonna do is just resync the controller, because maybe I was like I might have been actually holding a direction when I turned it on, because sometimes I accidentally like hit the control stick and it's like actively like it can basically mess up the dead zone if you're holding a direction. And yeah, I feel like the Pro Controller, from everything I've heard, is good, assuming, you know, the method of keeping stuff out of it actually works and it doesn't drift a bunch. Like, if it actually... if drift is better, then it'll be worth it, but, you know, we don't know yet. And the unknowns of it mean everyone's just very skeptical that drift will be any better. So yeah, at this point, I'm kind of eyeing, like, if I need a new Pro Controller, I might go with, like, an 8-bit though, like, 2C. Like, that's, like, the budget one that doesn't have, like, you know, native PC support. It's just, there's a PC version and there's a Switch version, but, like, they're separate, unlike the normal, like, Ultimate that has, like, both built in. So that's kind of the controller I've been eyeing a little bit at the moment. Just because if I like the Pro Controller vibe, but obviously you have a lot of pros and cons, pun intended. Yeah, I think it is genuinely drifting. So again, I'll try to take it apart, you know, after stream and see if I can clean it out a bit. I've done this like before. Like every so often I'll just clean this controller. And I mean, it seems to have worked out pretty okay, because again, the amount of times I've actually had issues with drift on this controller are like few and far between. Like, only one other time I can think of where I had this problem, and again, just cleaning it out actually made it work reliably from that point on for like a year. Like for years at that point, because it had been a bit since I experienced drift there. I think that was the first time I actually tried cleaning out the Pro Controller, so yeah, it would have been like probably like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, and it was just kind of on a hunch of like, I wonder if cleaning it will help. Some do have like deeper problems, so like just cleaning it is not an automatic fix for things like that, but it can definitely mitigate issues. Realistically, I might also just swap the Joy-Cons because they're, you know, they're right there. I haven't exactly played this game on Joy-Cons, so that'll be interesting to just swap over at the last minute. You know, 11th hour and having to do another playthrough. But yeah, I also just played a crap ton of Splatoon this week because of the Splatfest, which, by the way, I actually was on the winning team for once in my life. It's not very often that I'm actually on the winning team. Yep, I picked Team C just because I like Fry and felt bad for her being given Team C, because it's like, I don't think C is gonna win. I don't know if everyone just had that same idea, if people like the ocean and like sea travel more than I expected. Either way, I'm happy Fry finally won something. The big man sweep has finally ended as far as the special Splatfests go. Small group. Is it this one? Cool. So we actually don't have to do too much because it's the one right here. If it had been the one farther away, like, we would have probably had to fight the other one too. So hey, I'll take it. That's very good luck. Neat. Again, sometimes the game decides to be nice. Not all the time though, but sometimes. Yeah, if you see a very jerky camera movement, that is not me doing that inherently. Sometimes I do genuinely swivel the camera a lot. But there are cases where I'm just... the controller's genuinely acting up. The previous time it was the left stick that was acting up, so this is the first time I've had an issue with the right stick on this controller. So that's kind of interesting. Again, with how much like Splatoon and everything I play, I'm almost amazed it's taken this long. It's also... I can see dust. So like, it might just need a cleaning, but again, not a big deal. Alrighty, final boss time! Oh no, this is gonna be awful under the current circumstances that I'm having to face at the moment. But anyway, I'm gonna leave the Pikmin here. I wanna say the guidebook says to leave the Pikmin near the exit. That is not a good strategy in my opinion, because then it's really hard to whistle them to safety if you need to. So I'm gonna leave them within arm's reach, basically. Anyway, hi Louie. Long time no see. Is that Louie? Mr. President, I have located Louie resting on a vast mound of treasure. From him to venture to these depths alone, the desire of man is a thing to be feared. But Louie is not moving. Could he have exhausted his strength in reaching these depths? There may yet be time. Quickly, to Louie's aid. So, I want to go in a specific order. We basically have to break all of the objects it's collected. I specifically want to go for the water faucet first, because it can actually hit any point in the arena. Every other power-up, except... actually, electricity can go beyond the arena too, but the others are confined to the actual, like, divot itself. So I am going to... actually, this is very good. When you get electricity, obviously you can just ignore it if you're using yellow Pikmin. You're obviously supposed to alternate elements a lot more. I never do. Because, like... given that blue Pikmin's just, you know... You don't really need to use other Pikmin types. I just use yellows because it's the most efficient from the perspective of just being able to reach things, and also given electricity, you can just ignore the electricity, which happens to be one of the worst hazards in this fight. You can't believe Louis got a Dommy Mommy Spider Chef before you did? Oh my god. See, my issue is I don't like spiders. Some I'm okay with, but not all. Well, we got the water faucet, or the water cannon, essentially. So again, that's the most scary one to try to deal with. Also, my whole thing about leaving the Pikmin up on this little ridge, I don't need to actually worry about that anymore for a bit, because nothing should be able to reach them. How would that water drown the Pikmin? Basically, they just get stuck in a water bubble, they get trapped in a water bubble around them, basically. You can't attack while it's actually holding it down, which is obviously kind of difficult. You have to like line it up properly, and again, you would want it to be the right element. But beyond that, again, this fight isn't actually that bad. As a kid, I struggled, because again, I would leave the Pikmin by the exit, and they get picked off by the water cannon. So it's like, yeah, no, just keep the Pikmin with you. It's way more efficient, I think is the takeaway. So 2 down, which is great. So again, I think the point is you're supposed to alternate. Also, why would you alternate if like yellow Pikmin are doing just a fine and dandy job as is? Like, I don't know why you would. I just want to see how this works, to be honest. I don't know if that actually is helpful to use a bitter spray on this fight. This is dumb. They actually get all the yellow Pikmin on there. Wow, that was actually perfect. Hell yeah. That was really stupid of me to have done, but I got away with it, so it's all good. Now, again, I know I was just talking about, like, you really don't need to use other Pikmin types here. I'm just gonna use red Pikmin for safety. Again, you really don't need to worry about this though, usually. Yeah, sometimes the best offense is best defense is a good offense. The only problem with the red Pikmin is they have a hard time reaching. They don't get thrown as high. Also, this will stun captains, but it doesn't actually deal damage. Like, my health isn't going down, even though it is visibly causing them to recoil a bit. What happens if I do this? Oh my god, the flame stays. Oh. Well, that's kind of awkward. The flame effect is really cool though, the way it's like distorting everything. I'm sure the bitrate's having a great time with it. But yeah, I think this game looks really good for its age. Like, it still looks really pretty. Alright, ow. Owie. Again, I'm just using red Pikmin to get through this phase a little bit faster. And now, with all of its stuff gone, is completely vulnerable. Hypothetically, we can just take everything back. We don't even need to, like, fight it. If we could just leave Louie if we want to. Like, we could just get all the treasure and just say bye, but obviously we wouldn't beat the game that way. So unfortunately, we do have to actually collect Louie. Anyway, we do get the option to collect all of the treasures. Which is very nice, or all the weapons I was using. Again, you don't need to do this, I just think it's funny to make Louie wait a bit longer. This is gonna take a bit, so let's swerve back over here. I assume if you actually leave the cavern and come back, Louie will still be on top of the Titan Weevil. But you wouldn't actually... What am I trying to say? You wouldn't need to do the first part of the fight. You could cut straight to the second part of the fight. In theory, if you just like leave right now. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Again, the other recommended strategy a lot that I see is to just leave at this point, use the geyser at the end, come back with like 50 yellow Pikmin, 50 blue Pikmin. No Pikmin are at risk compared to having a completely, you know, evenly divided squad like we currently do. So yeah, that is actually a recommendation I see from time to time. The Titan Weevil now is completely harmless to us. So this is very cathartic, actually, given how hard this game is, to just be able to kind of go to town on it. Because it can't do anything to fight back. It's just very, like, it's got a lot of health, but beyond that, it's not that bad. You fell asleep, aww. Well, hi Aiden. Welcome back. I'm glad the cry emote's getting a lot of use out of it. But yeah, I did put together a cry emote based on Dizzy, because of course. Probably would want more emotes based on characters, like character moments. By the way, wait, where's the one Pikmin I'm missing? Oh, there they are. If you use a bitter spray on the Titan Weevil and then kill it, it'll drop like 5 to 10 of both sprays. So like, it's completely overkill because this is literally the final boss. But just to show it off, actually, there was a unique death animation for it. Like where it kind of like dissolves. So it's unfortunate, I kind of want to show that more. I just kind of spurred the moment and I'm like, maybe I should show this instead. Yeah, it just kind of turns into bubbles. You can obviously refight the Titan Weevil, I think, if you come back here. But obviously, there's no point. There's not going to be any treasure to collect. Unless you just want a lot of sprays really quickly for some reason. Louie? Are your life functions fading? No, he appears only to have fainted. He is always running into trouble. Instruct the Pikmin to carry him. There's not enough room for him in the cockpit anymore. We will have to keep him in the cargo hold with the treasure hoard. Which I'm sure he's fine with, because he's Louie. Damn, we got through that first try. I'm very happy about that, especially, again, given how bad the Emperor Bulblax in Pikmin 1 went, where it took like 8 or 9 tries. Me thinking, oh, this is gonna be a really short stream, and it ended up being like over 2 hours when I already had made plans to be on someone else's stream. It would probably be better if his life support functions did fail, yeah. Probably. Yeah, I am very happy with how that boss fight went. And yeah, again, not following the original guide, if I recall, and leaving the Pikmin in this little alcove is way better. Because again, there are times where Pikmin will still get hit in here, and then you can't easily save them because you're having to switch back and forth between captains. Because you're also having to whistle the yellow Pikmin who are actually trying to deal with the boss itself. So again, I think it's just better to leave all the Pikmin with you. I think that's actually way more efficient. But with that, that is the final piece of treasure. Louie is our final treasure. The real treasure was the Louie we begrudgingly rescued along the way. Look at that number go up. To 26,985 Pokos is our final total. And yeah, that's GG. That's the game. We're dropped off once more, and away we go. And that's the game. It's interesting there's no like good or bad ending in this game compared to Pikmin 1. You just have like 2 endings, one for the full debt clear and then for all treasures. Pikmin 1 does have like a bad ending if you don't get all the parts in time, where Olimar gets turned into a Pikmin. Wonder what that's all about. They only need to wait, what, 22 years to see how that would happen. What would happen if Olimar gets turned into a Pikmin? Foreshadowing. I don't think I'm doing Pikmin 4 for this series, to be fair. As much as I did enjoy the game, I don't think it's like a favorite. 12 days to time my best time. The orange number is the new one. Again, for some reason, it orders them backwards in some cases. Like, it goes smallest to largest record, so second place is a bigger number than first place, meaning your first place record will actually be erased at some point. It's really weird that they did it this way. Yeah, 10:30. That was a very good run, all things considered. These are very much in line with my practice run, minus the red Pikmin where we had a lot more, and we had less yellow Pikmin. But yeah, no Pikmin loss. This was a pure, deathless run, as advertised. So yeah, very happy with how that turned out. Again, I will always have a soft spot for this game. This is definitely a game near and dear to my heart, even though it's got some decisions to it. So here's a fun thing. There's a lot more to see in the game if you just mess around. A lot of the overworlds will get new enemies if you go back to them after a certain point. So for example, in the perplexing pool, a beady longlegs will show up near the landing site at a certain point. I think ball bears can eventually show up here, which makes sense because they were in the distant spring originally. It's like a weird kind of bug that appears very rarely near the Hole of Heroes on very specific circumstances, but it's not tracked in the Picklepedia. So yeah, there's a lot of little, like, Easter eggs. Plus there's all the emails. Again, I already talked about this, but there's so much email dialogue. I'm sure, like, the Pikmin wiki, there's gotta be some record of all of it, but I actually recommend looking into it at some point, because there's so much dialogue even after you pay off the debt, just by getting to the end of a day and getting the email. And again, there's so many emails if you take a long time with paying off the debt, rescuing Louie. Because we kind of flew through it, we missed quite a bit, but again, mostly involving like Olimar's family and a lot more development there. So again, there's a lot to miss in this game. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not at least briefly go over the Picklepedia. Unlike my practice run where I forgot this, because it's only in one floor of this godforsaken game, it is on floor 3 of the Glutton's Kitchen. We have a complete file. So yeah, this is a complete Picklepedia. I want to check if it's this one I'm thinking of. I think originally it used to be X and Y, but because this is based on the Wii version, it's my plus and minus. Yeah, this one. Inedible. Effects of consumption include uncontrollable arm flailing and enthusiastic dishwashing. Actually, what was the one for the cane pop bud? This flower's tough texture makes it unsuitable for salads, but its bright blue hue makes her a grandiose garnish. That's wholesome. But yeah, Olimar will actually give like scientific data on all these. I'm not gonna read out all these, we'd be here all day if I tried. Inedible, it tastes like chicken. It's inedible, yet he ate it anyway. So the implication is, if you've actually this only works if you've collected the enemies. The implication is that Louie's just eating stuff in the cargo hold, basically. Or just eating stuff when he was trying to survive. Either way, the implication isn't great. But the interesting thing is, Pikmin 3 did not originally have a Picklepedia. It was added in Deluxe. Most of the returning enemies are actually just carried over from Pikmin 2. Like, for both Olimar and Louie. Though, I think the new captains also have notes, in which case those are brand new. And similarly, a lot of the logs in Pikmin 4 are also reused. So again, basically everything in this game that is carried forward has similar descriptions. Obviously you have some. Like on GameCube, obviously the Wally Hops are going to be a little bit different because they, again, took out a slur, basically. I'm not going to read all these out, we will be here all day. But we can see all the different series. Again, once you collect everything, you'll also get a sales pitch for each item. But again, we'll be here forever if we read out both logs for 207 treasures, or whatever the number is, so we're not going to do that. So yeah, I mean, Pikmin 1 and 2 are in a collection on Switch if you want to play these games for yourself. I don't know if I can recommend either, because again, I love these games. I have played these games so many times. Again, I used to play them once a summer. So hey, we're right on target for when I would normally be replaying this game anyway. The only difference is I played it twice. Once for practice, and also to unlock stuff in challenge mode. A new employee of Hokutate Freight, Louis, is often silent. Nobody knows what thoughts lurk in his mind. He appears to operate in the same wavelength as insects, often with dangerous results. After he was kidnapped, he somehow managed to hijack a colossal insect's brain. Why is there a sales pitch for Louis? So somehow he survived a horrific ordeal with a freakishly large weapon-wielding Titan Dweevil. I enter the hole with an army of ferocious Pikmin, grimly determined to save Louis from the Titan Dweevil, but it seems that he was perfectly fine all along. I can't understand how he managed to avoid being eaten. He's always had an unusually close connection with insects. I know he loves to cook them. Maybe he wasn't kidnapped after all. Could he have been controlling that beast all along? No, that's craziness, although he does insist now that we address him by his proper title, the King of Bugs. Again, I feel like this is a payoff that would not even be resolved for another 19 years from this game. And again, even that game's weird, because Pikmin 4 is like disconnected lore-wise from 1 and 2, but carrying certain characters and themes forward. It's basically a reboot. Pikmin 4 is the Mario Galaxy 2 to Mario Galaxy 1, is the way I describe it. So it's really weird, but it also still builds on a lot of the established lore. Like stuff about Olimar's family, stuff about the families of the characters from 3. Like, it's a weird, like, reboot. And I don't know why they rebooted it, instead of just making a sequel, other than trying to, like, retroactively, like, tidy up some of the lore, maybe? But again, I have no clue what the logic was for Pikmin 4. I love the game still, but again, it's very confusing. But yeah, I really love Pikmin as a series. We'll be playing more Pikmin in the future, probably. I definitely will want to get around to 3 at some point. Who's Don Bergman? Oh, right. Oh, that's been a bit. Like 2 years since I played 4. Although the meat is a bit on the metallic side, the oil makes a mouth-watering. Why are you drinking motor oils? Gravy, Louis. What the hell? Inedible, known to cause mass hysteria followed by leg spasms and internal thunderings, but also all that is known about this creature stems from a few sightings deep in the ground. All reported sightings feature the same core set of details. Giant vicious form with a clear hazy sheen not unlike hard candy. One theory holds that it may be the ectoplasmic incarnation of a kind of psychic phenomenon. But as is usually the case with such theories, it is very difficult to prove. All witnesses report being suddenly overcome with fear upon sighting the creature, approaching a state of panic and near insanity. In fact, every report contains an inordinate amount of extremely vague details, which has led to suspicions that exhaustion and fear have caused some simple natural phenomenon to be viewed as a living creature. Is Louis supposed to be such a menace? Absolutely. He's kind of like the goofy, like, side character who ends up actually causing a lot of the problems, and it's kind of, like, left vague on if he's doing it on purpose or not. So yeah, a very interesting series lore-wise. And again, there are implications in Pikmin 3 about, like, a force pulling people to the planet, essentially. But again, that's not entirely elaborated on because they just immediately skipped ahead. we'll talk about that in the future, probably, because again, Pikmin 3 is on the docket, though, if I check my spreadsheet, it's not gonna be for a while. Really quickly also, back to title. Let's see, this was Fox Girls Favorites number 12. Pikmin 3 Deluxe on my current spreadsheet, if it stays the way it is, will be number 36. So, if I get to Pikmin 2, or Pikmin 3, it'll be a while. There's a 2-player mode, where you, like, try to get the most treasure, I think. No, wait, you have to get marbles, and if you get 4 yellow marbles, you win, or if you get the marble from the opponent's base. Obviously I'm not going to show that off, because I'm only one person. I could disconnect the Joy-Con from my Switch, but I don't want to do that. The big thing I wanted to talk about is challenge mode, because challenge mode is rude. So, just to demonstrate, I think it's this one. If it's not this one, it's fine. It's this one. So, just to give an example of why challenge mode is stupid in this game, I don't know if it's affectionate or derogatory, or just kind of neutral, but this is a floor where the goal in challenge mode is to find a key. But sometimes they just give you complete bullshit to deal with. So for example, in this particular challenge stage, you have 90 seconds to basically figure out which of a set of ball bears has a treasure. Does that sound fun? No, it's not. However, it gets even worse. Okay, this is actually good luck if I didn't botch it already, because then we would have had an extra spray. They only give you 2 sprays to force you to have to fight one of them. Okay, so the actual problem with challenge mode is you have to do every stage deathless. That is not a joke. So yeah, the goal is to find the key. That will make either the hole to the next floor or the geyser appear. You will have to break open the geyser, so that wastes even more time. So yeah, we lost 7 Pikmin in this very casual attempt at this particular run. We're just gonna give up, because I don't feel that strongly about actually showing all these on stream. I did not want to commit to this on stream, especially deathless, because I would definitely not have a good time. So, by doing everything deathless in challenge mode, again, not every floor is that level of BS, some of them are though, especially deathless. However, your reward for beating every stage deathless is Louis' Dark Secret. The president entrusted Louis with the golden Pikmin character. I didn't read out the other FMVs, I don't know why I'm reading out this one. But Louis couldn't suppress his powerful hunger. He ate every last one. And straight back. Then he falsified his report to the president, which led to the Hokotate freight accruing an insurmountable debt. So the entire game is Louis' fault. This entire... and he's just like, don't tell anybody. Which is like, very funny to be streaming this. Now everybody knows. So yeah, Louis is basically the source of all problems in the series, directly or indirectly, who can say? Like, maybe there's some kind of pull to this planet, and thus he wanted an excuse to go back to the... like, an excuse to go to the planet himself, or something like that. That's getting into, like, conspiracy theory territory about Pikmin of all series. But it's true, like... And again, even though it's a reboot, I don't think Pikmin 4 exactly does any favors for Louis in terms of, like, not being extremely sus as a character. Yeah, that's Pikmin 2. Again, I enjoy this game a lot. It's a hard one to recommend, but it's a game that's gotten me through some rough times. Including today. Not gonna elaborate on that, but yeah. This is just a game I can very consistently and reliably go back to and have a decent time with. Oh yeah, there's one Easter egg here. I do not know what the button mapping will be on Switch, but you can traditionally press certain inputs to have certain responses. I think that was like clicking in one of the sticks. But in theory, you should be able to actually control the bulb orb. I do not remember how to activate that. You can also make like a glint beetle or a flint beetle appear. Yeah, there should be a way to actually control it, but I don't remember what the input to actually take control of that is. Again, being on the Switch version, I don't know what the inputs are. You can also just press different buttons, cause the Pikmin to like disperse and reform the logo in different patterns. So yeah, I think this game has a lot of charm. It's also really bullshit at times, so it's just a very acquired taste kind of game. It's still a game I hold near and dear to my heart, no matter how objectively not good parts of this game can be. How objectively difficult, overly difficult it is, especially compared to Pikmin 1. But yeah, it's a game I will always treasure, pun intended.